Hey everybody, James Yeager, Tactical Response, and I'm in our Force on Force house and here at Tactical Response, and I'm going to just talk about a little bit of low light stuff, and I'll probably do a series of low light if you guys like this stuff, but just some basic stuff. Number one, what do we use lights for? To illuminate, deceive, blind, navigate, communicate. We use lights for several things, and let's talk about using them in the tactical environment of your home or business or whatever the case may be. Now, there are very few times when there is zero light. Typically it's in your house in the middle of the night, okay? But remember, we can still control the lights. We can still flip light switches on and off. And when you have a light on, that beam is like, it's like tracers. Tracers show you where the rounds are going and where the rounds are coming from. And when that beam shows you, goes out, it also points back the other way. And so we'll do some stuff on building clearing more specifically if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, but let's just talk about some very basic lighting use. I'm gonna have to turn the lights out to make this work, but that's just the way it goes. Okay, so there's just a tiny amount of ambient light here, and this is me. Tiny amount of ambient light here, and I'm using another O light from goinggear.com. This is a pretty neat light. But let's just talk about the light itself. This is a dim light. This is the bright light, and this is the strobe. That really screws with the camera. So the strobing light can be used to disorient, but it's not an answer. You can't use sloppy lighting tactics just because you're using a strobe light. So that's the first thing I want you to understand. There's no piece of gear that you can buy that lets you use bad tactics or anything like that. So it's important that you understand that you still have to apply sound tactical principles. One thing that I want to talk about is the beam itself. This is the lower beam. There's actually two beams here. There's the primary beam and the secondary beam. And most all the time, we use this primary beam. That's our focal point. A couple of reasons not to do that. This is a nice flat brown wall. But if this were a white wall, this would be reflecting a lot of light back. Or if we hit, and we got pictures and stuff hanging in here, if we hit a picture or a mirror, boom, that light's coming back on us. I'm shining this into a mirror right across the way there. And it's shining back into my face very brightly. So, primary beam, secondary beam. The further away we are, the bigger that beam gets. So this is also one way that we can tell where somebody is at when they're using a light. We can tell, hey, that's pretty close, and we see this happening, we know they're going further away. We see this happening, we know they're getting closer. If we see the light is angled, ovaled, we can tell what kind of an angle away from that wall that they are when they shine. So we can tell a lot of stuff by looking at the beam of light. But the reason I want to talk about this secondary light is that's what I want you to actually use when you search. I've got a target hanging right here. It should be just on the edge of the screen. And imagine this. I'm pretty far back, and I get to right here, and I can see the edge of that guy. Where does he think I'm looking? He thinks I'm looking right here, but I'm actually looking right there. So I'm not using that center part to look. So that's deceptive. That's us using the light deceptively, okay? Because anybody would think that we're looking right here. And we can see this guy over here, no problem. That's on the low setting. The high setting, it's easy to see him, but we almost have a third layer of light on that setting. And then with the strobe, there's a lot going on there. Okay, so here's the light that I used in the video. This is the M20 Warrior, and it really is a pretty damn neat light, pretty bright. Pocket clip and all that. And if you guys will notice from the other ones I showed, it's got two buttons. It's got this one, the clicky one that I don't like, but what's this? That's a push button. Now, I wish it was just right here. I know, I'm a broken record. But I do like the fact that there is at least an option to have a button that I can't push hard enough to click. Under the effects of adrenaline, we lose sensation in our finger. We think we're pushing it halfway, we push it all the way, it doesn't work for us. But this is the light that I use in the video. Really nice, really damn bright light. I really like it. Comes with the case and the lanyard, the diffuser, some spare tail cap buttons. You know, a good well-rounded kit, and the sheath is heavy duty. It's actually a really nice sheath. I guess these on the side, these fit rechargeable batteries. I guess that's what they're for. But really nice kit. The other one is the 21, I think. Sorry, yeah, is the M21 Warrior, and as you can tell, it's a slightly larger light, but considerably more powerful. Now this one, I don't know if this is maybe an older model, or just that side switch option is just not available on this model. I don't really know, but I wish it had it. But man, what a bright light! What a extremely bright flashlight. And you can go through the switch and do strobe and all that stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of strobe in the world, but it certainly is kind of neat, and it does work. I mean, there's no doubt. But sometimes I wonder if it works better on the guy shining the light than it does the guy you're shining the light at. But this is actually pretty neat. This is this is the coolest little mini flashlight I've ever seen. This is like, if you're used to the Maglite Solitaire, this blows it out of the water. It's about that size. So you turn it on. It's got a dim setting, a bright setting, and a strobe. That little bitty light puts out so much. It's incredible how much light a flashlight this small can actually put out. So that's just a little bit about light. Again, if you guys are interested, we'll do more. But just understand how the light affects you. Now we're talking about using the light and the angles and stuff like that, but also if you imagine any big room, any room with multiple lights, excuse me, any room with multiple lights, especially commercial buildings or whatever, there's all kinds of light coming at you from different angles. And every time you take a step, it's kind of like walking through a pool of water, because the ripples are sent off, shadows are sent in different directions and things like that. So if we talk about building clearing is 50% hunting and 50% not being hunted. And so start thinking about light, and besides just a flashlight, your low light tactics are not dependent on a flashlight, they're dependent on your mind. But start thinking about how what affects light plays. I mean, why did they do the Old West shows? Why did they do their duels at high noon? Well, that was actually what they did, because at high noon nobody had an advantage. The sun was straight up. The sun wasn't in anybody's eyes. So anyway, I know I'm just kind of rambling, but that's it. Light. We need to learn how to use it a little bit more effectively, and we need to understand the principles within our home. I cannot do a complete building clearing class on a video. You guys are going to have to get off your ass and come take a class at some point. But just know that we're here. And remember, your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends.